All right, Libra, beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't think it's that bad at all. And I swear I've seen this combination before. But this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled Call for Help, Reach Out, Need for Backup, and Admit Your Needs. But then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Joy. So basically what happens between these two when they come together, it's like admitting what you need and then having faith that better things are going to come your way. But Call for Help is one of those cards where it does talk about needing to work with shielding and protection techniques. But it's saying that you need to be careful about people around you, to be cautious in your dealings with them. Don't let your guard down. It's like somebody may be waiting for that, but I don't think that that's it because of Joy being here. It's like when you finally admit what your needs are, you become that conduit for joy. Now, I love this card because to me, this is the Fool. One of the things that it says is that this is the moment after the leap. You may not see where you are going, but you will land on your feet, which I think is perfect. And it says, let's just jump and see what happens. So it's like you just go ahead and jump in and admit what you need. And then joy just comes right into your life. And in a way where it's like a significant change. Like, you know, this can represent everything from a new job to marriage. And it's beautiful. So, Libra, as soon as you admit what you need. All right, Libra, here we go. Here is your overall for the week. I love it when shit like that happens. It's like when I'm shuffling, I feel like this push to stop, but it's like sometimes I wonder if it's shuffled enough, and when shit like this happens, I'm like, yeah, I'm on the right track. Libra, here you are with Justice. I love Justice. Now, this being the overall can be talking about you needing to make fair and balanced choices for yourself. Some of you may be dealing with court issues because that does come up with Justice. You know, if you're dealing with an unfair situation, it's all about making it right and making it balanced, amending wrongs. I love Justice. One of the things that I've always said is that Libras seem to be like my best friends. Because you're always the ones that will come in and go, look, you're being too emotional. Let's look at the situation here before you do anything stupid. And God love you for it. But we'll see what is going on for Libra. Now, in the past, the Two of Pentacles. And again, like, you know, it always worries me, though, when I see a major as the overall, when you're dealing with minor things. It's like the little things add up. Now, when you're looking at the Two of Pentacles as the past coming through, you're talking about you trying to balance out a couple of different situations. It is the juggling act. And you needing to make sure that things are fair and balanced, not just for you, but for everybody involved. But, you know, this could be two different jobs, just trying to balance out your personal and work life. It could be, you know, two relationships. It just depends here. But it's still an issue because it's still showing here. Oh, wow. Libra. So, in the present moment, the Eight of Cups, you know, and one of the things that I say about this one, for me, it's almost more difficult to look at this than the Ten of Swords. Because at least there, you know, it's over. No matter how painful it is. This, to me, feels more difficult. When you're looking at the Eight of Cups, it's knowing that you need to walk away from something that is not giving you what you need anymore. But, you know, like I said, the question with this becomes, you know, are you doing that, though? And it's not that easy. When you're at an 8 here, when you spend that much time and you invest that much into something and then find out that it's just not going to give you what you want, it's not that easy to just walk away from it. Abandonment is what comes up with this one. But with Justice being the overall and you being there, I don't think that, you know, you're just leaving something. I think you're having difficulty in making the choice to do that. Because you're still showing that you're still trying to figure it out. Oh, jeez. Future conditions, the High Priestess. Whew. Now, you could definitely say here with the High Priestess that like something comes up that you didn't know that may make it easier for you to deal with this situation. That, or there are things that you've been keeping down. Like, you know, I don't know why, but the High Priestess is like taking on a totally different meaning for me this week. And it started with Taurus, I think. But definitely needing to trust in your intuition. You know, it is about unknown or hidden information. But the thing is the moon is at her feet. Like I always point that out. The moon is at her feet. Basically what that's saying is that whatever is not known to you is available. But rather than acting on something, now is the time for you to just like watch and observe and let the intuition guide you in the right direction. But like I said, you know, it's either you're keeping something or this is something that you weren't aware of that comes up in a way that I think is going to make it easier for you to make the right choice to walk away from something that is no longer giving you what you need. But we'll see. We'll see how this lines up here. Oh. All right. Your best path to follow, the Ten of Swords. Now, I don't think that you're going to be going through the painful ending. I think that something needs to end no matter how painful it may be, but I don't necessarily feel like, because of you being the overall here and talking about justice and fairness and balance, that it's about you going through a painful ending. Now, usually when I see the Ten of Swords here, the first thing that I'd say is whatever is over with is over with. You know, you can't keep focusing on the pain of the ending that you've just been through, but I don't think that that's it. I think that some of you are understanding now that, you know, as much as you're trying to make sure that the situation is fair and balanced, unfortunately, it's going to have to end, and it may end in a painful way. But I don't feel like it's so much for you. And I say that because of the Eight of Cups being there. But wow, man. Yeah. Something difficult definitely needs to come to an end. Unfortunately, I don't think that there's any way around this. It's just going to end up being a painful situation. You know, but then I go back and I look at you reaching out for that help or admitting what you actually need. You know, whether that's to like your family or friends or even, you know, the higher source or your guides or angels, whatever it may be here, but you end up being in joy. So that makes me think that this is going to have to do with someone or something else that's going to be ending in a way that's going to be painful, but not for you. Oh, yeah. In your environment, the Five of Cups. And yeah, with the Eight of Cups being there, absolutely, it sucks ass. You know, nobody wants to feel that way. Emotional suffering. But being more focused on what's been lost rather than focusing on what you still have, right? Like the message with the Five of Cups has always been that not all is lost. But disappointment, and not in a Four of Cups type of way, and where it really is emotionally difficult for you. You know, and I feel like you're in the middle of this, like trying to keep things fair, but really being in this juggling act with something that isn't making you happy is not fair for anybody, you know? And these two, I mean, like, I get it. I get the emotional difficulty around it. And then feeling like, you know, you just... Yeah, normally with the Eight of Cups, you know, most cards are going to show it with all the cups spilled. And that's what I keep seeing, is this. Like, man, you know, but you still have this, though. Your hopes and your fears. And this, to me, is talking about you making better plans. But it's also about, you know, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do next? You know, where do you even start? After having to, you know, finally come to terms with the fact that something that you've put a lot of time and effort into isn't going to give you what you want. You know what I mean? It's like, what do I do now? You know, but as far as that goes, though, too, I think that, you know, for some of you, you're hanging in there right now with something that isn't making you happy. It's not satisfying you. But you're thinking and you're planning here on what the next move is going to be. You know, but I feel hopeful about it, though, looking at it there. You know, I don't feel like it's a really bad thing. But again, the decisions, right? And weighing out your options. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at it. I mean, right up. The Magician manifesting that cool ass shit. Like, I love it. And I feel good about it because I feel like, you know, despite the fact that you may be dealing with this right now, you move into this place where I feel like you're a little bit more confident in what you're actually wanting to create. And you're doing it. But with the High Priestess there, you know, are you just kind of like biding your time? You know, I don't... With the Magician being there, let me just say that I don't feel like this is manipulation or secrets being kept by anybody. I think that you're looking to start something new here. Because again, with the Two of Wands being there. And it may have to do with the person. You're looking at fire with the King of Wands. Or we could just be talking about you being more passionate, being more adventurous. But with the Eight of Swords, somebody's stuck. And I think that this is about you being stuck with this situation right now. But then you move to a place where I think that, you know, a major balance here between temperance and justice showing up. Getting back to a place where you have better equilibrium. And what I mean by that is that your thoughts and your emotions are well balanced. You know, I see you being patient, absolutely. And being a little bit more calm. And not being so, you know, emotional. But what I worry about is with the Eight of Swords. And it's like, you know, I feel like there's a part of you that's just been trapped with something for so long. Now, you may definitely have somebody else coming through here that's like opening the door for something new, which is possible. But then I also feel like we're talking about you, though, too. Because even if you're dealing with a person coming through, the way that they're making you feel is like the King of Wands, I think is the best way to describe it. And making you feel like more excited. But yet right now we're still stuck with this. Which absolutely makes sense with the Eight of Swords there. But like I said, you get to this place of balance and patience and equilibrium. And manifesting what you want now. But I wonder here if somebody is like not in the loop. Because of these two being here. Because it's like you're still like trying to figure out a way to, you know, get past this situation, but it being fair and balanced, but realizing that, you know, like I said, with the Ten of Swords, like it has to end, but it's going to have to be in a way that's going to be painful. But I don't think it's for you because you're already going through this. That's painful enough and it's by itself. But like, are you keeping things to yourself right now until you get everything figured out, which is a possibility? You know, and that may be why we're showing the Two of Pentacles here, where you're still like dealing with what isn't making you happy, but then at the same time trying to make plans on something else. But your intentions, I feel like, are in the right spot. That I will say. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in your love life. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to be honest about that one. For those of you who are single, letting go of control issues, you know, it's not... If you have somebody in your life right now, when you're looking at Temperance, it's not about like trying to make passion start. It's like starting out as like friends and then working on getting the passion going within a relationship, right? Just being patient with the situation. And again, you know, allowing it to unfold naturally. But when I see Temperance, I think of, you know, needing to get passion moving in a relationship, but needing to start at a place where there's like friendship and understanding. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, when you're looking at the Knight of Cups, it could be very possible here that, you know, I'm just going to come out and say it because the first thing I felt was your friends may be trying to hook you up with somebody else. Because the Knight of Cups is the encounter. So somebody coming through and like wanting to have an experience with you, and your friends may be responsible for this happening. Now, I do think that, and like I said, I'm just going to say it, for some of you, it may be outside of a relationship, or, you know, you may be looking to get out of a relationship here if we're looking at it in terms of the reading, and there may be a connection somewhere else. Now, you know, for those of you who are in an otherwise happy relationship, I think that as far as that goes, it's just like having your friends kind of help you get into a place where, you know, you're maybe a little bit more emotionally responsive to your partner, I think is the best way to put it. But yeah, I mean, right, like temperance, and then justice. If we are talking about a relationship here, Libra, I think that if you're not happy and you're not satisfied, I think the best thing to do would be to just come out with it. You know, I mean, even if you're planning on doing something else, it's not like you need to come out and say everything that you're doing. But I'm not looking at the Seven of Swords here. But I think it's time for you to just go ahead and make that final choice if you know that you're not in a situation that is going to satisfy you. And that's whether we're talking about work or a relationship here. No matter how painful it's going to be for somebody else, I do think that the situation needs to come to an end. All right, Libra, so I do think that you are trying to make sure that things are fair and balanced, not just for yourself, but for everybody here. But I think that some of you may be in a situation right now that you've been trying to figure out for a while that is not making you happy. I mean, that's not good. And I do think that it needs to be over with. I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be a painful thing for you because, again, we're looking at the Eight of Cups as the present moment, so you're still in it. With the Ten of Swords being your best path to follow, it's like, you know, I think your intentions are in the right spot. But I think that this situation needs to be over with. No matter how painful it may be for somebody else. Now, as far as the High Priestess goes, I do think, and especially with the Two of Wands being your hopes and fears, that you may be planning something else out, but like you're not really talking about it. Now, it's not a Seven of Swords type of feeling here. You know, that's why I say that your intentions are in the right spot. But I don't think that keeping everything bottled up is the best way to go, though, either. You know, I just think that some of you may be doing this because you're still, like, thinking about what you're actually going to do. Because, you know, even with the Magician here, we're thinking big. and wanting to manifest something really good. And it may have to do with a person coming through, but I clearly right now, you know, with the Eight of Swords, you're stuck. But with Temperance, it's like, I almost feel like some of you are okay being in that position because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to get to a place here where you're getting away from these things that are just not giving you what you want anymore. It's frustrating. But like I said, I feel like your intentions are in the right spot. But you're patiently, like, I feel like patiently waiting for the right moment to kind of take care of this. And I don't think that, you know, that's the best way to go. Because clearly here, you're not doing so well with this. I mean, come on. You know, I do think that it just needs to be over with. I think you need to call it, and you need to deal with it. And no matter how much you try to make sure that everything is balanced out for everybody, you know, either way, it's going to end up being painful somewhere. But, you know, going back to the Oracle cards, it changes everything for me. Because as soon as you admit to yourself or to the higher source what you need, you end up in joy. Like serious joy and happiness, which is what I feel like you deserve. Because I don't think that you're doing anything wrong here. I think that you've hung on to a situation for far too long that, you know, again, is disappointing you. Now, as far as relationships go, for those of you who are single, let go of control issues and Temperance. You know, you don't need to control the flow of a relationship. It's just needing to naturally let the passion build up, so to speak. You know, being patient with situations, being patient with new relationships, things like that.